Russia's Vladimir Putin rolling out the red carpet for his, quote, dear friend, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, greeting each other for their second day of meetings in Moscow. Despite skepticism from the West that the visit is more about supporting Russia and furthering Beijing's own self-interests, Putin and Xi signing an economic deal, deepening their partnership, and calling for an end to actions that increase tensions in the prolonged war in Ukraine.
Of course, we did not ignore the situation around Ukraine. We believe that many of the points on the peace plan put forward by China are consistent with Russian approaches and can be taken as the basis of a peaceful settlement when the West and Kyiv are ready for it. But this readiness is not observed on their side.
Since the war began, Russia has become far more dependent on China. China has been propping up Russia's economy amid Western sanctions by purchasing its energy, replacing Western suppliers in electronics, cars, and aircraft, and providing an alternative to the U.S. dollar. Xi is inviting Putin to China this year and told Putin they share similar goals. Putin says Russia has closely studied Beijing's peace proposal for Ukraine, a plan that Washington says would solidify Russia's grip on occupied land.
China would not want to see Putin fail. It would set a terrible example for the Chinese system.
China and Russia have a complicated history, but their shared adversarial relationship with Washington is driving them closer.
This is a marriage of convenience, not of affection.
In Russia, there's some cynicism about Beijing's motives. On a Russian state TV talk show, this military pundit said, China can have only one ally, China itself. China can only have one set of interests, pro-Chinese ones. Chinese foreign policy is utterly devoid of altruism. But Chinese state media is in overdrive, touting the benefits of the Russia-China relationship. And it's all positive comments on China's heavily censored social media. This one says, cooperation and win-win. The next one says, long live China-Russia friendship. Disagreements, if any, are censored. By meeting with Putin, Xi wants to highlight his role as a global statesman that can offer an alternative to the current world order. But Jake, the real tangible outcome of this meeting is Beijing strengthening ties with Russia in ways that benefits itself. These economic agreements they've signed, it's likely going to increase Russia's reliance on China. Now, China's policy is a bit contradictory, but it really boils down to supporting Putin while publicly declaring neutrality, but also paying no price. That's why the experts I speak to say it's unlikely that China would provide the kind of lethal aid to Russia that would trigger secondary sanctions. Jake.
All right, Selena Wang in Beijing, thanks so much. Meanwhile, Japan's Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, made a surprise trip to Ukraine, where he met with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and visited Busha, the Kyiv suburb synonymous with Russia's atrocities against the Ukrainian people. Kishida's trip marks the first time a Japanese prime minister has visited an area with ongoing fighting since World War II. CNN's Ivan Watson is live for us in the northeastern city of Kharkiv. And Ivan, the timing of this visit seems pretty important.
It does, and it does not seem like it's a coincidence that you had the leader of China visiting Moscow, and then the same day, the Japanese prime minister visiting Russia's enemy, the capital, Ukraine. Kishida laying flowers in Bucha, where there were discoveries of mass graves, of people executed with their hands tied behind their backs after the Russian troops withdrew from that town on the outskirts of Kyiv. Japan signaling its commitment to Ukraine. Last month, it pledged some $5.5 billion in assistance to the Ukrainian government and has said that it speaks out strongly against Russia's, as it puts it, aggression into Ukraine. In the meantime, the Ukrainians still watching this meeting in Moscow closely. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has come out with statements about the suggestion of a ceasefire made by Putin and Xi today, saying that nobody would be satisfied with that right now, going on to say that that would simply freeze the conflict and allow Russia to regroup and attack again sometime in the future. He says Ukraine has its own peace formula, and that probably involves Russian troops withdrawing from Ukrainian territory, and he wants to share that directly with the Chinese leader. We don't know when these two leaders will talk.
And Ivan, Ukraine and Russia are disputing the details of an attack in the Crimean town of Jankoy. That's where a train carrying Russian caliber cruise missiles was destroyed. What are Ukrainian officials saying about this attack?
Right. I mean, we have seen amateur video of some huge explosion last night. The Ukrainians claim that they hit a shipment of these caliber cruise missiles. We do not have independent confirmation of that. The Russians say, hey, our air defenses shot down some kind of an attack. Somebody was injured. They haven't said anything more about whether or not these missiles were hit. In the meantime, tonight, within the last couple of hours, we've heard about missile strikes on the southern Ukrainian port city of Odessa. The Ukrainians say that they shot down two of these Kh-59 missiles that were launched by Russian warplanes, but two more got through the air defenses and have injured people. We're still waiting to find out more about the extent of that damage.
All right, Ivan Watson in Kharkiv, Ukraine for us. Thank you so much.